simple. Education in action, conservation in action. This is Kamp Kenan. All right, so the weather is getting cooler, and that's both good and bad. It's good because it's a good time to get moving and get motivated to build new structures that we need around the property. The bad news is I'm gonna need to get these things done quick because we got a cold front moving in, and the Galapagos tortoises need a more spacious living arrangement. Check it out. That's what we built. My father-in-law came over and helped me with the roof. As you guys know, those of you who watch the channel who may be actual carpenters, I am not. So basically I've got to come up with something that I think looks good, is cost effective, and someone who has the skills with Lego or Lincoln logs can put together. That's what this thing is. I use landscape timbers, guys. So if you look over at it, we did landscape timbers, very simple, and I apologize because I was kind of wanting to get it done. I didn't set up a time lapse, but I can show you exactly how you do it. It's pretty easy. You go ahead, they're most cost effective. They cost $3 and change, and I brought it up to about 4 foot, 3.5 foot rather, and basically it'll fit my largest tortoise, Darwin. But look at this. Look at how big he's getting. This is amazing. There's Nostradamus, and I was just going to turn to say that it's got to get big enough so that Nostradamus can actually fit in here as well, because he's going to be a 600-pound tortoise one day, and he's already getting so big he can eat the grass, which is greener on the other side. In this case, that's the truth. Anyway, I'm loving this thing. It kind of looks like a log cabin. I think it has a cool vibe, but I need to finish it off, and man, I'm going to have Tom help us out. Luckily, he's here, another set of hands and eyes, but we got to seal this up. I got to cut some insulation to fit here and here. So seal up both sides. I want to also get some of the stripping on so that we have a passive heat barrier. We're going to pull this off when it's ready for them to come in, and I'm going to fill it, put some gap filling foam in there, some of the cracks and nooks and crannies that I missed.
So how did you put these?
I'll show you. Check
together?
it out. Come on over here. I have some extra. I really enjoyed this so much that I'm going to build the radiated tortoises the same way, but I'll cut these in half. So instead of an 8x8 structure, these guys are going to have a 4x4 enclosure. So what you want to do is you get these landscape timbers and you'll set them out, and you're going to want to also get yourself a level. You're going to want to level the ground. So you're going to need a shovel or some kind of hoe to level out the ground. And you get your first board, you get your very first landscape timber leveled out. You want to level it long ways, and you want to level it also side to side. Then you go ahead and get your next one and do the exact same thing. Okay, so I did them like this. I was using an overlapping design, so I went ahead and I did that. You want to level that out, move along to the next one. You level that out. You see how I'm placing them? I'm doing this overlapping design, which gives it a nice look, but it's also structurally more sound. Now you come on over to here. All right. And I did it this way so I wouldn't have to actually do any cuts until I started making the door. So you want to just do it like this. You see how it all fits together, guys? So that's your first course. The next thing I did is I got my drill with a paddle wheel on it, so I could drill a hole. You'll need one of these. This is a 3/4 inch bit. Basically, you want to drill out a hole, get yourself a big old sledge, and then you take the drill, and what you do is you just get a hole drilled into it. And you want to, as you drill, you lift it up to let some of the sawdust out. Up, almost. All right. Hopefully we can get all the way through. There we go. All right, so we've made it all the way through. So the next thing you then do is you go ahead and put your rebar in. And I like to just go pile driving it. So you'd bang this stuff down. I don't want to do it because it's in the middle of my driveway. But you would bang this down, and then you'd put about 2 pieces of rebar per board or per pole, and that firms it up. So it's been leveled, it's been attached to the ground, now it's not going anywhere. And then you would then take your next course, and here's what you do. So my next course, move over there, buddy. I'm gonna go ahead and layer it this way.
Right, so everything overlaps.
Everything overlaps. And you do your next course like this. And it actually goes pretty quick when you get the rhythm going. So you just go ahead, and that's how you go up in height. Then you take that same drill and you only go halfway through, because when you go halfway through, you'll be able to get a 3.5 inch screw into both pieces of board so they lock together. So every time you put a new course on, you have to go ahead and pre-drill a little bit halfway, and then you screw in a screw. Or you can buy long timber lock screws, which are of course much longer, but they're also kind of pricey. So I went with just screwing down every single one. To make the door, I just cut the pieces for the size I wanted the door. So I would only cut them at 2 foot. 2 foot here, which gave me a 4 foot opening for the door. So that's essentially how I did the structure, and it went pretty quick. It just started going, and you could go to the height you want. But being that it has this interlocking design, this thing is solid, man. I mean, it is all one unit. It's all woven in, locked together, and I kind of like it because it looks a little bit like a log cabin, you know? In fact, the kids want to live in here, actually, so that's kind of fun, and I think I've gotten myself into a little bit more than I bargained for, because I think I need to build them a little fun house. But this is really cool. The kids love it, but more importantly, I know that the tortoises are going to love it. And it actually sits in the place where Darwin's old house was, which was becoming something of an eyesore. So what we got to do, get the sides on, get some insulation on, fill in the gaps with gap filler foam, and then I'm going to go ahead and put a passive heat barrier there out of pond liner, and then I'm going to hang the heat emitters, and we should be good.
What'd you use for substrate?
Oh, substrate. I was going to go with concrete, but I didn't feel like mixing a bunch of concrete and then spreading it out. I would have had to put about $200 in cement down there. So what I did was I used gravel, large drainage rock that I had laying around to bring the ground level and raise it up in case there was a heavy rain. And then I used some of the coquina sand. And what I'll then do is, as needed, I'll throw either some wood shavings or some hay into the stall, if you will, to the tortoise manger, and basically do it that way.
Isn't that kind of nicer than cement anyway?
I think so. You know, upon thinking of it, I'm gonna. I didn't really make anything where I could like open the doors. I can easily crawl through that hole and kind of crouch down and just rake it all towards the front, get out, and then rake it out. So yeah, it's gonna be good, man. It's less money too, because it's cheaper for me to just throw some sand in here or some rock or something to bring the level up, and the tortoises like to bed down in it. So it's better, I think, than the cement.
Do you think, is this like their final house? Like, do you think they're set after this? Like, you don't have to do...
I got 3 tortoises. I mean, I could fit 4 adults in here, and they don't need to hang out in here all the time. It's just on those nights where we get that cold snap. So they're going to come in, they're going to go to bed, and they won't move. And to be perfectly honest, if they had to spend a few days in here, they would be able to do so.
So that's 8 by 8.
This is 8 by 8, yeah. So I think we'll be able to fit at least 2 adult females and 2 adult males in here if needed. That's it, man. So we got to get to work. I got to get some sides up. So that's what we're on about. So luckily, Tom's going to help me with all this stuff. All right, so I'm just using this foam to seal up any of the little air holes that are in here. I'm probably going to go back and use caulking and just caulk all of these seams right here. So that'll be a little labor intensive. But for now, the bulk's done. There's going to be foam in here and some more roofing material. And we got to get the insulation on these panels. But other than that, really excited, man. So probably the nicest tortoise shed I've got. And the kids like it. So they'll probably use it as a clubhouse, although it'll stink once there's manure in here. So we're going to wrap up the day with this and finish it all up tomorrow. See ya. Morning, friends. We're up bright and early because, as I've been mentioning, we got some cool weather coming in. So, I'm putting on this tar paper. I guess that's what it's called. I don't know what the technical term is. Someone mentioned in the comments, which can be comical. But here's the deal. My father-in-law and brother-in-law build houses, and they had some excess stuff. And this is a good little tip. Whatever you're doing around the house, you guys know that I'm a do-it-yourself kind of guy. It doesn't always look pretty, but I have a knack for talking to people, telling them what I'm up to, and getting them interested in, what we're trying to do and saving all these animals. So there's always a lot of excess from these construction jobs, and I've done this before when they weren't family, where I just roll up, talk to them, say, hey guys, if you have any extra materials, this is what I do. It would be a big help. You may want to go ahead and check that out. Go talk to people. It's one of the best ways to get things that you need for your animals, and this way you can save your money for the things that are really important. But a lot of this stuff is really cool, man. So this paper, I'm just tacking them in with some roofing nails right now. Tom's gonna drop the camera maybe, or set it up somewhere and help me put that last one up. And then I gotta cut the metal roof. And guess what? The metal roof came from my friends at All Tech Roofing here in Jupiter. Someone ordered the wrong color, and I got a bunch of aluminum roofing. We're gonna use it here for this tortoise shed because I like the color. It's kind of a browny, greeny earth tone. I think it's poop brown. I don't know, I'm colorblind. You guys tell me when we bring it out. See you in a minute. Let's get this going, Tom. Hey, what's going on? All right, so we got the roof done, and now we need to create this passive heat barrier. So that's what I'm on about right now. We've cut some of this roofing stuff. I don't even know what it is, but it's nice and firm. And what it'll do is it's gonna hang in front of the door. The tortoises will learn to go in and out of it. And basically it'll just keep the heat inside. And then on really cold nights, I actually am just gonna nail a board right up to keep them in. But this will keep them insulated. So right now, I've got to flip this thing over.
So you just cut those into strips?
You cut them into strips. I've used in the past also plastic carpet runner. You can find it at Home Depot or Lowe's. You can use the clear stuff, or you can use solid. It doesn't matter. The tortoises will eventually learn. What I'm gonna do is turn it around. Now this stuff, I don't know, this is the first time using this. It does have it's got a little stickiness to it, but I'm gonna go ahead and put dirt and stuff on it, and I think it'll kind of look cool if I throw sand on it. You can see there's just some flecks from the flooring here, but I'm just gonna go ahead and throw some like gravel.
It's just a big curtain for them to walk through.
That's pretty much all it is. It's just a curtain, they walk through it, it keeps heat in, and it's super easy. It's similar to when you see those large walk-in freezers and stuff. That's basically what it is. Let's get a battery on the stapler, and then we're gonna staple it to, oh wait, where's my battery? There's the battery. We're gonna staple this, and then I'm gonna go over to the shed, and I'm gonna go ahead and screw it in, and that'll be it. I'm just wondering, I think as this stuff heats up, it becomes more tacky.
I think you got the right idea though. It's on the outside. Yeah. It's gonna be fine. It'll get dirty.
Well, there's some sand, like I'll just lay it down on the driveway and just put as much stuff on it as possible. Let's head over there, see what we got. It's the morning of the cold front, and already it's kind of chilly for Florida. Supposed to get up to 70 degrees today, so I'm not too stressed out, but it's definitely not the best. Here's what I wanted to do. I've got some of this stuff here. So.
Oh, on the coquina.
Yeah, the coquina. I'm just wondering if this will, you know, eventually, you know, look, I don't care about all that, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It'll eventually get covered with dust and grime and lose that tackiness. So I don't know. This is improvisation.
Saving bucks.
But yeah, saving bucks. It's a material that was given to me. But I think, because it's not that sticky now, but I think it's one of those deals where it heats up and it gets more tacky. But over time, I think it'll just end up being fine. So now we got to get some screws going. All right, let's pull these railroad ties out. Oh man, this is a project.
You look very serious when you're building.
Yeah, because I'm not good at it. I'm really not. I'm not good at it. It's just got to get done. And you know, so it's not my, this type of building sometimes can be stressful because we're up against the wall here. I got to get this done, and then we got to get animals safe, you know? So it's a little bit daunting. Let's speed this drill up.
And like, so there's a gap right there, like no biggie, because obviously they can't fit through on that side.
Yeah, they're not going
to the rock.
Yeah, that's no big deal.
They're going to look at it and be bummed, but that'll be it, right? Like,
yeah,
they're not going to try.
They won't even care about it. They'll stick their head through and get whatever grass grows near there.
What do you think, Soph?
Like your clubhouse, Sophia?
Yeah, let's have a clubhouse. I want a clubhouse for just me and Leo.
Oh, you don't want to share it with the tortoises?
No, I want a tree house.
You want a tree house?
Tree house.
And the clubhouse.
You guys see how long it took me to build this thing?
You're in trouble now.
Yeah, I'm in real trouble. They want a clubhouse. I was hoping we could double this one up. All right. These will come in handy again one day somehow.
He's hesitating. He's turning away.
That's all right. We'll get him in here later. The key is that it is nearing completion. We just need to, I don't have electric out here, so I got to run a little electric cord, and we'll run a little extension, and then we'll get these heat lamps on.
That's the last step.
That's it. All right, so I'm trying to get electric in, and the area where I have the foam to kind of cut through to put the extension cord through is blocked. I can't fit. So I'm gonna try something that I learned from my buddy Mac from Baston, and it's gonna involve some work with the sledge. But let's see if I can do this here.
You gonna break it?
I'm gonna break it. We don't, I mean, it only needs, yeah, I'm gonna break it. Here we go. You hit in a line, like you hit here, here, and there, and you create a full. Watch your face. Here we go.
Nice.
Good old Mac. Woo! Oh, all right, good. Gotta love it.
It cracked right where you wanted it to.
Yeah, not bad, right?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Yeah, well, that's one thing I learned when we spent 2 months putting all this crap up. All this, I don't mean crap, but you know what I mean. Oh, shit. All right, good. All right, yeah, cool. Let me just shave this. And that is done, son. Now we can get that extension cord in. Next. And again, I gotta run an extension cord temporarily until I get some, until I actually get a hard line put in here. So I'm just gonna cut a little hole here. I left this here so I could get an extension cord in. And then I'm gonna foam again around it so that it's sealed again. Use this. Now just go in and you can feed it to me here when I poke it out. All right. Poke it on through. Dynamite. Okay, now for my next trick. So I learned a pretty cool hack a few years ago. Of course, there are one of those things on Facebook like 10 great hacks for making your life better. And this one actually works. You make a Xerox of the back of your power strip, okay? Now you have a template so that you can put the screws exactly where they belong, take the paper off, then you just take your power strip, place it on. Same thing with this guy. I've got the controller here, it's a timer, and I've got my 2 mounts. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the screws on, hook these guys up, and that saves a lot of guesswork and makes things go a lot quicker.
I gotta remember that one.
You gotta remember, it's a good one, dude. This one, worth it, especially when you're using power strips and trying to mount them. Well, you guys got me making a mess. I'll trim this foam once it expands, but I just want to really get this thing good and sealed, and I'll show you guys inside. We're done. This is it.
This is a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
It's always more than you realize, right?
Dude, totally. It's always more than I realize. Again, guys, I am not a carpenter. I'm just a do-it-yourself kind of guy. Has to figure things out, so that's what I do. Luckily, I got some good friends and family that, you know, help me realize my dreams. But don't be afraid if you don't know anything. You can learn as you go. You can always correct a mistake. That's what I've learned. Mistakes can be fixed. Let me show you inside and show you what we're all about down here. Come on in. Oh, this is the new spot. It's almost like cribs. Here we go.
Tortoise cribs.
Yeah, all right, so it's pretty spacious. I'm happy about that. Watch your cord there. We got some nails I don't want to spill. But yeah, we got a nice heat lamp. I have another one. Unfortunately, the bulb I got, I have to return because it was defective. So I've got to redo that one. I'll plug that in here in a little bit before the evening comes. But you can see it's very spacious. I'm going to caulk these seams, but we're not going to do that today. Just simple silicone. We're just going to caulk
Every
single one, because as you can see, there's some light shining through, so I just don't want a breeze to come through. Some are worse than others, like you can kind of see that one. Yep. So I'll just throw a bead of caulk in them, and I'll seal them up. I have some foam on the joints, but it's already feeling warm in here, right, Tom? It feels pretty good, right? Yes.
So you've got board.
I've got rigid insulation on the roof, okay? And then I took that Gap Great Stuff foam, and I just sprayed it because I didn't feel like cutting. I didn't feel like cutting any more insulation.
How many dollars worth of cans do you
actually
think that's
$3, $3, $6, $9, $12.
All right.
So $12.
These guys have a spray foam insulated home. Like, this is better than people's houses.
Pretty awesome, dude. And it's like just with this one lamp, it's warm. And remember, down here in South Florida, we don't want to overheat the tortoises. We just really want to take the edge off of the cool. Okay, so tonight it's supposed to get down to 58 degrees. We're going to keep the temperatures in here at about 70, which I think is going to be just fine for these guys.
Show us this whole setup.
Oh yeah,
right
so this is pretty. I mean, it's not the prettiest, guys. It's almost, he's like, show us, and there's electricians going, oh.
Yeah, but people are going to be curious, right?
Yeah, definitely. So we used our templates, and we got the power strips up high, because obviously the tortoises are low. I'm going to actually get another, I need a larger fastener to get this one up, so I'd like to pull this one up a little bit higher, but the tortoises, if they go into the corner, they're not going to hit it. I've got a timer here which I'm going to program. You see this timer? This was Tom's idea because I was spending a lot of money. I was spending quite a deal of money when it came to powering these houses, and we realized you only need the electricity on during the evening. So I'm going to set this right now. And what you do is you pull all these out, and then you depress, then you kind of set your time. So it's about 9:30. So I set it to 9:30. Now, what time do I want this to come on? Well, I'm going to say around 10 o'clock at night we want the lights to come on. So I'm gonna press them from 10, 1, 3, 4 in the morning. We're gonna have them shut off at about 7 a.m. So that'll be it. And then there's a little switch here, see, on, off. You can manually turn it on and off. I recommend doing this anyway because when you're working with reptiles, you may want to, and you guys, those of you that keep animals up north, you may want timers because you can replicate photo periods. You could turn on the lights. You can have a separate one that turns on a basking light during the hottest part of the day or during the morning. Goes, you know, it's a really cool thing. And they make even more elaborate timers that are programmable. So this one, it just will kick on at, it'll kick on at 10 o'clock at night.
And so that's everything. That includes this heating pad on the wall?
Yeah,
there?
the heating pad as well, yeah. So, you know, I just went ahead and stuck this up here. I don't like to put them on the ground. It's better to get them up off the ground. Some people hang them. In some of my enclosures, they're hanging. But they really do put off quite a bit of heat. So tortoises can move towards it, move out of it if they want. They still have a choice whether or not they want to heat themselves or cool down, and they'll be able to shift around during the evening. So I'm really happy with the way it turned out. We used a coquina substrate, you know, coquina sand, and that's that. I mean, this is on. This is you know, a few more things. I got to paint, stain it rather, and do some of that stuff. But
where does this rate in terms of all the sheds you've ever built for your tortoises and animals?
this is the biggest and the best, I would say, so far. And you know what? I think when I look at the receipts, I think I only spent $500.
Really?
A lot of the materials I had here, and it was about $260 for the railroad ties. All these beams for the roof I had just laying around. The insulation I had laying around. I actually, I might have gotten away under $500 because I had the roofing, the paper for the roofing, the insulation, all the screws. I just bought a heat lamp, some of the foam.
Scraps. Hold on to scraps.
Always hold on to scraps. Have a junkyard where you can keep things. That's that. There you go. So we're going to get out of here right now.
Let's see, will they come in?
Well, I'm going to clean everything up. Let's see if these guys will come in. All right. It's always great when a project is complete. And now I can rest easy because I know they can all fit in here as opposed to the old one right there where Darwin couldn't even turn around. These galops are giant tortoises for a reason. They get huge. Same thing with my aldabra Nostradamus. So all three of them are going to be able to fit in here even when they're all full grown. So I'm very happy about this. Things are done. Like I said, just a few more odds and ends to pretty it up, but you guys will see that evolve soon. In the meantime, I'm going to leave you guys with some leisurely shots of the tortoises grabbing up the last of the warm sun here for the next 2 days. It's going to be really cold in South Florida. We're getting down to 58 degrees. Woo-hoo-hoo. Oh man, I might have to wear a wetsuit when I go in the pond. I'll see you guys later.